Hello, I'm Dr. Myers, and I'm going to be giving you an anatomy lesson. Just kidding. Angela Myers, here to elevate your mind, body, and spirit. If you haven't subscribed yet, click the link below and subscribe because you know you need this stuff. Today we are going to talk about anatomy though. Anatomy of an emotion. I'm going to teach you how to create any emotion that you want to feel. This is not my work. This is things I have learned from Tony Robbins. I am a certified Tony Robbins Madonna's life coach, and this is part of what we learned in our training, and I'm going to share these secrets with you today. So, any emotion that you want to feel or don't want to feel has three components to it. This is the anatomy of emotion. We're going to run through the three components, and I'm going to have you then practice it so you can really create anything that you want to feel. The three parts of emotion. One is your physiology, meaning how the emotion is stored in your body. The second one is your focus, meaning where do your thoughts go? What aspect of a situation are you focused on? And the third thing is language. Physiology, focus, language. We're going to break these down, and you want to get out your pen and paper because you're going to have some tools when you're done to actually be able to start practicing this. And caveat, you're going to want to practice it alone because you're probably going to look weird. All right, let's talk about physiology. Any emotion that you experience on a regular basis, and the older you are, the more conditioned this pattern is. Any emotion is stored in your body. And I'm talking from the crown of your head, down to the ends of your fingers, down to your toes, and you don't even realize it. So let's say I wanted to load up the emotion of depression, right? We're gonna load it from the top of our head down to the tips of our toes. So if I was depressed, I probably would have my eyebrows dropped or slightly furrowed. My head would be down. My eye gaze would be down. I probably would sink into my shoulders a little bit. My mouth would be drawn. My voice would be lower. I would talk slower. I would probably breathe deeply like this. And I would have my hands like dead weight beside me. And if I literally stood like this for a couple minutes, I could actually feel depressed. And that's just one of the three legs, right? So everything from your eyebrows to your eye gaze, to your voice, the tone of your voice, the tempo of your speech, to how your jaw is held, how your neck is held, how your shoulders are held, how you're breathing, what tension is in your fingers, how your arms are held, even how your glutes and core are engaged. This all is what creates an emotion, how an emotion is loaded into the body. So think about something like excitement. We just did depression. With excitement, my eyes are bright, my eyebrows are lifted, my chest is up, I'm talking more excitedly, I have energy in my hands, my core is engaged, I'm moving around, I'm feeling excited. You can literally load that into your body. So if you were going to practice the physiology of an emotion, I'd want you to first get a piece of paper and write down everything you can think of that you would probably do with your, starting at the top, forehead, eyebrows, eyes, with your mouth, with your jaw, with your neck, with your breath, with your shoulders, with your hands, with your arms, with your core, even with how you would be standing. Would your legs be kind of wide apart in an A-frame, or would your feet be kind of turned in and you're kind of slumped down into them? So think of everything, write it down on paper, how you think that would look. And I've actually worked with clients who, this person that had spent most of their life feeling depressed, who actually couldn't remember what it was like to feel excited. He actually had to look up pictures of someone feeling excited to be like, oh, their eyebrows are raised, oh, their eyes are open, and to start to even know how to load that into his body. His body physiologically had not experienced excitement for so long that it didn't even know how to load or register that emotion. So if you're having a hard time thinking, say there's a feeling you really want to feel like that you don't feel much of, whether it's peace, love, joy, excitement, enthusiasm. If you need some help knowing how that would feel in your physiology, actually look up pictures of people that are feeling that way and take notes on like what they're doing with their body and their face, their hands. You know, maybe excitement is like a fist pump or something like that, versus like, you know, again, depression is just everything's going to be weighted and heavy and hanging. So write it down on a piece of paper, everything from your head to your voice quality, down to your toes, how that emotion would feel. The second part is focus. And I like to use this analogy best as a camera. So when I walk into a room, say I'm walking into a party, and I could take my camera and I could take a picture of two people having a great conversation and laughing, a beautiful display of food, maybe some decorations in the corner, other people playing a game. And if I showed you those pictures, you'd be like, wow, that looked like such a fun party. And I could take my exact same camera at the exact same party, and I could take a picture of a plate of food that had spilled on the floor that was like kind of sloppy, and I could take a picture of two people having an argument in the corner, and I could take a picture of maybe a trash can that was overflowing a little bit, and give you the impression that that exact same party was kind of mismanaged and low-key and not very good energy. The exact same party. So focus is you choosing what to use your camera or your mental focus to put on a situation. So say there's a situation you're thinking of that's kicking off feelings of anxiety. If you're not aware of it, there's a good chance that your camera is focused on like what could go wrong, what people might think, what's not right about the situation, what's not right about you. If you flip the focus and you said, what I want to feel going into the situation instead of anxiety is, say, confidence, you would have to flip the focus on like, what are the things that I know I do well? How do I want to show up in the situation? What can I feel good about? You would have to actually change the things that you're looking at, and they would kick off different emotions in you based on that. So focus is what you're choosing to see about a situation that's going to kick off different emotions. So again, one is physiology, how it's stored in your body. Two is your focus, what you're choosing to look at about a situation or a person that's going to make you feel something. Let me talk about person too. If it's not a situation, say it's a person that we're feeling a certain emotion about. There's a good chance where our camera is pointed on what's wrong with that person or what's wrong with the way that person treats us. And when we continue to ruminate and to think about the things that we don't like about that person or about the way that person treats us, it's going to kick off feelings of anger, maybe entitlement, maybe resentment, maybe injustice, maybe feeling devalued. All those things is going to load those emotions into us. And then, of course, our physiology is responding like, oh, I can't believe this. If you choose that very same person, there's probably a lot of good things about that person, and there's probably some good things that they have done for you, to you, with you in the past, and maybe even in the present, that you could choose to flip your focus that way if you chose to. So again, thinking about the emotion that you want to feel, like what I want to feel the most here is love or gratitude or joy or peace, whatever that is that you want the most. A, load it in your physiology. B, choose to focus on the things that are going to kick back that emotion for you. And then the third one is your language. The way that you talk to yourself in your head and out loud has a huge impact on how you feel. So if I use words like I'm so exasperated versus I'm feeling a little challenged, just those two words have so much power in between. Or like I'm so depressed versus I'm not feeling as much joy today. Like just the words that you choose create strong emotions. There's emotions attached to words. So if you want, again, we're thinking about the emotion that you want to feel on a more regular basis. Think about the words that would be involved with that emotion. If the emotion we're going to is, say, we want to feel more excitement, we could say things like, I'm looking forward to, or I'm excited that I get to do this thing, or think about the words that you're using there, and even the things that you're saying in your head to yourself. We always have these internal dialogues going on in our head, and the more you grow in self-awareness, the more you become aware of the thoughts your mind is trying to tell yourself. You get to choose if they're true or not, but if you don't know that, you're always going to assume that they're true. Once you start to become aware that there is a lot of self-talk going on in there, and be like, hold up a minute, I don't know that I agree with that thought, mind. Thank you very much, but I don't think I agree. And it gives you the chance to control that. So the third part of the emotion, again, the language, is not just the words you pick, but the things that you're saying about that. So say it's a situation and we want to feel, my previous analogy, confidence instead of anxiety. So say confidence. What things would you say to yourself if you were feeling super confident? Maybe you'd say things like, I got this, or I know what I'm doing here, or I believe I can handle this, or I'm going to be just fine. You would be saying those sorts of things to yourself versus when you're feeling anxiety, you're thinking things like, oh my gosh, what if I mess this up again? What if this happens? What if I don't do this? I always seem to make this mistake at this area. You're thinking different thoughts, different words, different language that is kicking off even more of that feeling that you don't want. So you might want to, if again, I asked you to pull out a piece of paper on the first part and write down what the emotion that you want the most to experience on a regular basis would be, and then to write down how that looks in your body. Part Part 2, what will you be focusing on? Part 3, write down what kind of language you'd be saying to yourself if you wanted to feel more confidence every day. What would you have to be saying in your head to kick off feelings of confidence? And think about a time when you felt super confident. I'm just using confidence as an emotion. There's so many, but I'm trying to get you to make a global application of this. So write down the sorts of things you need to be saying to yourself as far as your self-talk to get in that emotion. So this powerful triad, once you start to bring in your body, make your body, again, the emotion of confidence, let's just use that. Say I walk around the room and I'm practicing this alone so you don't look so weird. And I'm just walking around the room like I'm the most confident person in the world, right? How I'm carrying myself, how I'm talking. And then I need to load the language. What am I saying? And I need to think about the focus, focus on things that could go right, focus on things I've done well in the past. That would all kick off this huge, amazing feeling of confidence. And I can actually practice loading that. At first, it's going to feel unnatural if you're somebody who hasn't walked around with a lot of confidence, or say you chose the emotion of peace. If you're not somebody who's experienced a lot of peace, or say the emotion is excitement. If you're not somebody who's experienced a lot of excitement and you want that more, it's going to feel unnatural at first, and that's okay. Your actual physiology is not used to experiencing that, and it will get used to it the more you practice it. So you actually have to practice this in private in order to be able to start to live in this more and more. So the anatomy of emotion, I gave you 3 points. It's the physiology, the focus, and the language. Once you get clear about what it is you want to feel every day, because you're not a victim to your emotions, you actually do get to choose them. Decide what you want to feel more of. Write down what that would feel like in your body, what you would be saying in your head, what you'd be focusing on, and then actually walk around your house practicing it. A couple times a day even. The more you practice it, the more comfortable and natural it's going to feel like to be in that state. So I hope this empowers you. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, click the button. I want to continue to feed your mind, body, and spirit with the things that are going to elevate you and get you what you want the most out of your life. So enjoy practicing the anatomy of your emotion, whichever one you pick. Leave me a comment. I would love to know what emotions you're working on. If you want any tips or feedback on how to load more of that up, I'm here. Reach out. I will help you. Have a great day.